Hey folks, Brad here for the Maritime Paintball Podcast, and this week me and Tom get into the taboo subject of the adult-only game. And we talk about the idea of, is there a safe way to mix partying, drinking, and paintball? I know it's a weird topic, and I know a lot of people don't agree with it, but we decided to talk about it anyways. So without any further stalling, on with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 327 of the Maritime Paintball Podcast. Yeah, 327. Yeah. And my name is Brad Riddell. With me, as always,
the second most recognizable man named Tom in the paintball world today, Thomas Castle, your king.
Woo. Sorry, I love my computer just made a sound at the time that it was just like agreeing with you.
Oh, well, thank you, computer. Thank you, computer, for agreeing with me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you were just like the second most recognizable. Was like, bring.
It's like, yes, he is. He looks like a foot, but he'll get you there. Get you where you're going.
Oh, I like that. Looks like a foot, but it'll get you where you're going.
Boom, boom. That was terrible. I didn't even mean to do that. It's awful.
Oh, no, but that was glorious. I like that. So, folks, we got a great show ahead of us. We're going to talk. First of all, we got a PP swag bag we're going to get into. Then we're going to talk about some upcoming games. And then we're going to talk about past game. And then we're going to talk about the glorious idea that I've been... Well, we kind of touched on it last episode, but I want to spend more time on it this episode talking about like an adult-only game. So we'll get into that. But first, of course, we got to pay the bills. So bear with us while we get a word in from our sponsors. DefConPaintballGear.com is one of Canada's premier online paintball retailers, offering everything from the most tactical of mag-fed gear to the most competitive speedball gear. Orders over $150 get free ground shipping. Some restrictions do apply, so please double-check the site. And when you use the code MARITIMES, you save 10% off almost everything on the site. So what are you waiting for? Check out DefConPaintballGear.com. PB Swag Bag is the awesome service that sends you awesome paintball gear every month. For $37.95, they ship you a blue bag packed with awesome paintball gear. Everything from paintball gun cases to headbands and t-shirts. Sometimes it's even custom and only available through them. Head over to pbswagbag.com and use the code MPP10 to score 10% off your first bag. And if you don't like it, cancel anytime. There's no commitment. pbswagbag.com. As one of New Brunswick's premier paintball fields, Moncton Paintball offers everything from a walk-on to private parties, special events. Featuring the town of Mag Hill, a fully equipped, playable urban paintball field, Mag Hill is packed. It's got cars, buses, trains, multiple buildings, some of them 2 stories, soon to be 3. Moncton Paintball is a field you cannot afford to miss. Find out more information at monctonpaintball.com. And we're back. So yeah, folks, speaking of sponsors, let's get right into it. Let's talk about, sorry, my voice is very, like back of my throat, and I don't know why. Does that make sense?
That one.
Yeah, shut up.
Not doing it. Really, Kat, you want to come in here now? I've been down here for an hour, and now you want to come in here. God damn, you are cute.
So, let's talk. One of our sponsors was nice enough to send a package every month, like they do, is PB Swag Bag. They sent out a package with. Now, remember, folks, we're not about quantity; we're about quality over here at the Maritime Paintball Podcast. So I don't need a lot of stuff. I just need good stuff. And this bag was, I'm not gonna lie, I took it out of the mailbox and I was like, she feel a little light, she a little small. Sparse. I don't know what's going on here. A little sparse. It felt a little sparse. So anyways, we tore it open and was actually pleasantly surprised. One, we came across these it's a 2-pack of carbon, what do they call them? Event
carbon
gloves?
Event gloves.
Is what they call them. And they're basically razor thin, super sticky, super tight. One size fits most.
Oh, they're like
gloves.
the Primal ones. Those are really nice.
Yes. Primal makes a similar pair. And like you can even hear how sticky they are.
That is... Like that is
right?
kind of a gross sound. I'd be happy to have that, get some dirt in there and get that thing broken in, but
Yeah, a little bit. It actually kind of feels weird to bend my fingers because my fingers stick to themselves. So basic black, real sticky on the bottom. Like you can see they're dipped in what appears to be some kind of like polyurethane, and then they've got the carbon on the shooting finger on the
index finger.
On the index finger. And I mean they go right down the wrist too, and they are tight. They're actually
You'll have to work
snug.
them in for like a night or an afternoon or like a day of play, and the next time you put them in, they'll almost form fit your hand. I really liked my Primal ones, but they're black and they get lost in my gear bag. Whereas my crappy old bike gloves that I wear, I never seem to be able to lose them. So
yeah, these are really nice. I'm digging these ones. They're not. And I'm really picky on my gloves because I don't know if my pinky's abnormally short, but like a lot of gloves, the pinky is always like
little.
I don't know. It just doesn't. It's baggy. It's and a glove shouldn't be baggy. Anyways, these are quite comfortable. I really like this. There's a 2-pack. So
nice.
Tom, you're getting a pair. I'm getting a pair, and we're gonna look dope as hell. Also, they come with a sticker.
We need stickers.
So you need stickers. Next up was another great addition from Carbon was this headband. This beautiful blue and black. Look at this pattern. This is like a geometric pattern there. Look at that blue. That's glorious.
That's a nice. I like that.
That's sexy. Nice royal blue. What I noticed immediately when I tried it on was the entire front of it is like a neoprene foam wrapped in a fabric with the terry cloth on the inside. So this is super soft against your forehead. And then when you tie the knot in the back, there's a little bit of stretch to it. So you tie the knot, and then suddenly you feel the whole thing sort of like shrink in on itself a little bit, and it gets real snug to the head, which is nice because
like you were saying about gloves, you want that stuff to be snug and not moving when you're running.
Yeah, exactly. I find some headbands that you throw them on, and then you tie the knot, and you can immediately feel it slip.
Yeah, there's a couple.
This one does not do that, which I really, really like. So I will be rocking this one. Also, it's blue and it matches my jersey.
That's nice. I like that.
So that's super cool. And then, like I said, folks, this one didn't come with a whole lot of items because it only came with 3. So the last item is very small, but funny because I was thinking about buying some Apple AirTags, and they sent out an infamous branded AirTag holder. So it's just a little
that's cute.
Rubber AirTag holder, right? It goes on your gear.
It was infamous because I would have just assumed that it was like branded from Offspring. I'm like, it looks like Conspiracy the One to me.
What is the Offspring skull
if you look up Conspiracy the One, you will find it. Okay, Kat, I love you
Conspiracy the One
very much, sweetheart. But if you don't go away, I'm gonna have to.
No. Anyways, my phone's acting up, so I can't look it up right away. But anyways, so that's the infamous AirTag holder, which is kind of cool. And then of course, a couple of stickers. So you got oddly enough, HK Army stickers.
Excellent.
Like they got all the brands. Like
there.
So,
don't look at me indignantly, Kat. That's why you get the water bottle.
So nice little haul of stickers there. So that's super cool. All in all, if you go to pbswagbag.com, sign up with the code MPP10, score yourself 10% off the first bag. The bags are $39, I believe. I have to double check. But this bag's actual MSRP, so if you were to buy all 3 of these items on their own, the bag is worth $60.
That headband's that I could see that. The gloves are
right.
I'm gonna guess the gloves are about $20 a pop for the pair, and the headband $40, and then your AirTag holder. Yeah, that tracks.
It's the gloves are $20 a set. The headband is $30, and the AirTag holder is $10. Right, so not a bad little combination there. So pretty dope. Pretty dope little haul there, which is awesome. And the stickers are going towards a project.
I'm so excited for that.
So that's it. So big shout out to PB Swag Bag for that, for sending that out.
Guys.
Always fun.
We appreciate you all.
And excuse me, my voice is giving out.
Well, found your week that you had.
I've had a rough week. I've had a rough month.
Hey Eli, how's it going, buddy?
There is a light at the end of the tunnel.
There is. Hang
folks.
on, let me just.
You may see for the first time in 2 years a not stressed out Brad. I'm not sure what that looks like. I'm not sure what that feels like. I'll probably get stressed out by the lack of stress.
So something just occurred to me. Yes, it would, because I don't know what that's like either. In 4 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, 4, count them, 3 more Fridays, we are gone. We are on the road to the trip that is going to save my sanity. So, booyah, baby. I think we're going to have to either record the show while we're on the road. We'll give you an hour of us just bantering and badgering, hopefully starting a new segment soon that I think is going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a riot. I'm going to have fun with that.
It's going to be a blast. Side note, anybody know what the resting heart rate of a human being is supposed to be?
Come here, Dr. Google. I don't trust you. Last time I looked at Dr. Google, it told me I had stomach cancer and it was a gallbladder removal.
Oh, it doesn't matter what you think you have. Your Google's going to tell you have cancer.
One moment, please.
Excuse
Between
me.
60 and 100 beats per minute. And varies.
Cool, I'm at 120.
You probably should lay off the work water. I mean, drink more of it. Yes, drink more of it. We want you to drink more work water.
I'll just make it go fast enough that it'll reset. That's how that's going to work.
I'm afraid I can't let you do that, Brad. I'll bring your fucking corpse with me. I've already told you. Nothing. I will
drag
put
me
your
there.
fucking dead ass in the car, and I will drive. Hell, I'll bring my sister too. I'll put her right next to you. Little box. Well, she's in a box in a velvet bag. Like, she travels really well now. It's amazing. I mean, fuck, I could send her FedEx if I wanted to, but she never wanted to travel cargo. She was always a big fan of first class.
Oh.
I know it's dark, baby, and that's like the mild. Wait till I put on the.
It's not that it's dark. It's that I'm just picturing. I'm just like, we could get a little wooden box. We could set it up with some like couple of snacks, juice box.
If I thought she would have found it funny, I would have done it. But I know my sister would have been like, "What the fuck are you doing, you morons? Like, really, guys?
Right?
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get your jokes." She didn't get my jokes when she's alive. I don't expect her to start getting them now.
No, right, exactly. But you're right. We do have D-Day on the way. We are going to D-Day at Commando Paintball or Commando Action Center is now what it's called technically, because they don't do paintball. They do paintball. Sorry, they don't do just paintball. They do paintball and airsoft and Nerf.
They do Nerf?
Bazooka ball.
Okay, now that's just cool as hell. That's just cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. They do a lot. They basically rent the facility out to whatever you need.
That's killer.
It really is. I love the idea. So that's happening. And I'm super pumped for it because it's going to be an amazing day, amazing weekend. We're driving up. That's going to be a party. And then we're going to get there. That's going to be a party. And then we're going to leave. And that's going to be
it's going to be a slow party, that one. That one's going to be a little. That's going to be a little.
We're gonna book it there Friday. Like we're gonna be like crunch time.
Oh
let's
man,
go! But the drive back is gonna be like, fuck, we should stop again.
Yeah, it's gonna that drive home is gonna be a long. That's gonna be a long drive home. I'm sure of it. And then my ass coming home from Fredericton is just gonna suck because I'm gonna drop you off. You're gonna drop me off at my truck and you'll be like, "See you the fuck later." I'm going to bed. It's like.
Right.
God.
Yeah. And you've got that last hour.
Oh,
and
that's
a half
okay.
To go.
That's the worst.
I mean, worst case scenario, bud. You could crash here. We got a couch.
No, my body already is gonna hate me enough from beating on it and sleeping in a hotel. Even though I'm just a prissy bitch. No, I'll be fine driving back to Moncton. It's just gonna be a little bit of a drive. That's fun. I don't mind the drive. Good music will keep me company. The playlist that our sexy audience is gonna put together for us.
Yeah, now that's a thing that's in the chat right now. Or it's in the description, sorry. Let me go hunt that down. Also, shout out to Jared Lavoie. Finally, I can see who actually shares this thing out now, which is
that's
great.
Awesome. Thank you, Jared. That is most excellent of you.
So, Gerald?
Spelled with a G?
Sure. Anyways.
Gerald.
Spelled with a G. I'm dropping the link in the comments there, folks. If you want to add your favorite songs to our playlist, we're always looking for just build that playlist up. I think we got it to like 4.5, 5 hours worth of music last time. I want to see if we can get it to like 12 hours of music, which would be pretty bitchin', because then that means we could listen to the entire soundtrack the way there, and then we listen to it again the entire way back.
On shuffle, baby. On shuffle.
Always on shuffle. Always on shuffle.
On shuffle and no skips. Might get turned down when we're talking, but it will play the whole way there. And you know what? We'll probably just use the SNL one for when we go on the way home from SNL on the way back. Because Mrs. B's chomping at the bit to get up to Fredericton, to get up to Halifax for the show, and then like I said last week, she's going to slow down on the way through town for SNL, and she's just gonna she's going to tuck and roll and just drop my ass off, and I'm totally fine with that. That's fine, dear. You go do your thing. I'm gonna go shoot at my friends for a couple of hours.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm going to go shoot stuff at my friends. That's what I'm going to go do.
I'm so stoked for that. Everything's tested from what we got to talk about last weekend, because it was so good to be back. Oh, my God. I missed
It was amazing.
Everybody.
It was awesome. I couldn't walk properly the next day. It was glorious. I got snapped to the side of the head.
Oh, fuck.
But it was actually a really good shot. It was funny as hell. The next day, it was funny because the next day I went, I shampooed my, that night I showered and shampooed my beard, get all the dirt and paint out. And then the next morning I got up, showered, and brushed my beard. And I was like, ow, why does that hurt?
A clump of paint.
Yeah. Because this dude here clocked me in the side of the head, but it was a great shot.
Your head was sticking out,
man.
And that axe Pro. Oh my geez, am I ever happy with that thing? Like, one of the young bloods, one of the young lads, helped me out getting it set up properly, because I'm a bit of an old man. I'm a bit of a tool, so. He's just like, here, Thomas, let me fix that for you. Boop, 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 boop. That's $8 a second semi now. Have fun. I'm just like, I'm old and don't know how things work.
Right? It's like,
Fucking thing has a red line board. It's super simple, and yet, thank you.
That's why I want a new marker where I can just Bluetooth that shit to my phone and just be like, I want this many balls per second.
I had a chance to buy one of those, and I'm still kicking myself, but I'm happy with the axe, as I had a chance to buy a Dye M3 Plus and buy it for a fucking song. And I was like, I don't need something like that, guys. It's like me owning a Lux. I'd love to own one. I would love to own one, but...
Ooh, speaking of Luxes... excuse me.
What do you got?
That was disgusting.
What? Sorry.
I was talking to a longtime viewer of the show, friend of mine. Let's see if I can bring up what it was. Anyway, it's Drew Schwant. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Well, if it's...
but he was telling me he picked up a Lux. Get this. For $50.
It didn't happen to have like an engraving from a certain paintball field in North Carolina, did it?
Right? No, I don't know where it came from, but he said it didn't work. He's already put $180 into it. But I mean, like... You buy a Lux for $50. You drop $180 into it. You're now $230 into a Lux.
Yeah, I don't want to hear. Yeah,
you're still at a tenth of the price. I was just like, you, dude, bro, that is
vile.
How cheap
and that is sickening, and I am jealous. But at the same time, I don't want a broken Lux. I want a working Lux, because I am, again, a mongoloid, and I am not going to be able to get it working properly if it's broken. I'm not handy.
Yeah.
I am aware of this.
I mean, he got it going, so like kudos to him for getting it working. But I was the same idea. I was like, man, even for $50, like actually, you know what? I'd buy a Lux for $50 and put it on a wall.
If it's just the body, yeah, man, they're beautiful. Like I think they are really, really pretty. They're not even beautiful. They're just pretty. You look at one and you're like,
they're pretty. Oh. They're very nice. Yeah, they're a nice, clean, sleek looking marker. Really nice, really sharp. Anyways, that was really cool that that happened. So shout out to him for that.
That is just sickening. You, sir, are a terrible human being, and I'd like your phone number.
Ooh, speaking of phone numbers, not actually phone numbers, but voicemails. Folks, It's in the description. Go check it out. The link is in the description. I'm gonna share. I forgot to share it out through the week as well. But like you can now leave us voicemails.
I don't get them.
Melanie
Brad
Carr's in the
does,
chat. What's happening, Melanie?
And now that I know that that's there, guess who's gonna get some vulgar texts, some vulgar messages? Oh yeah, I'm just gonna call you when I'm out and about and just leave some obscene.
It's not even a call. It's a website. You go to the website and you just click record. And you can record 90 seconds. That's what you got. You got 90 seconds to say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. We may not air it, but if it's funny enough, we will.
I will highly encourage saying whatever you want.
And if you try to be funny and it's not funny, like let's say you tried really hard and you just crack like a really off-color joke and it's just like, come on, try harder. We're going to air it and then we're going to make fun of you.
Define off-color. No, actually, you know what? Don't. I don't want to hear your definition of off color because fuck it. I want to see how far off we are. We're gonna find that out very soon. Like we traveled well together first, but that was only for like a couple of hours. The
dark jokes will fly,
dude. You just heard like the bare scrapings of the shit that I say. Dealing with trauma, I think it's all. Nay, listen, everything's funny or nothing's funny. And absolutely, and I've decided to really.
I can't say it on the air, but there was. I read something on Reddit that I actually almost spit my coffee.
Please, you'll send that to me later. If anybody asks, we'll send it to you. We'll send you it, but we're not going to air it because if it's that bad,
It's not bad. I think it's actually quite clever and not bad, but some people may take offense to it. And it's not a race.
That's again, you know my feelings
because I'm the whitest motherfucker.
You know my feeling on that. If that's just lazy humor, so I'm not worried about that.
Sorry, that's the better term. I should say that is if you're just trying to use lazy humor, we might air it to make fun of it.
We can censor. We can bleep.
Yeah, we can bleep it out. We might make fun of you.
Oh, I will.
Or if you just like, I don't know, just lazy humor, lazy jokes. It's just,
Neb,
we'll air it.
Please, bring it on. I want to hear everything you got, baby. And how's everything in the Maritimes? We broke record heat in my town, a 100-year-old record. It was 30 degrees day before yesterday. It was 36 degrees in the building I was working in today. I was moist. And you don't want to know any more than that. Yeah. It was unpleasantly hot, but I'm happy.
You ever get so sweaty that you can't even chafe? That it's just like
let's not talk about my day, please. I'm still trying to get over it. I feel so grody. I basically raced home to put the boy to bed so that I could be here to entertain yous. But like I said, it's either everything's funny or none of it's funny. And on the darkest day of my life, I was doing nothing but making fucking horrendous jokes that I'm sure made a few people like. It's like if I can laugh at it, you can laugh at it. It's fine,
right? It's
Sherwood Forest. Now I need to know, where is Sherwood Forest?
It's in the States.
Don't screw with me. I love Robin Hood, and if that's a real place,
and it's got a castle. And the castle is made entirely of old rail ties. So we're talking like massive 8-inch by 8-inch blocks of wood covered in tar that are incapable of rotting.
Please hold.
It's a field that's been on my list for a long, long, long time.
Indiana, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, my sunny. Oh, my God. Oh my God, that looks. I my heart.
Right.
I'm looking at the.
Right. Sherwood Forest.
Oh man,
folks.
I'm a huge I'm a big when I was a little kid, I loved Robin Hood, and the idea of being able to go play in Sherwood Forest makes me almost shit myself. And Neb, I am insanely jealous of that field. That is just. Moncton is a sweet place, but that is so. They've got a castle.
That's imagine, but you got to remember, Sherwood Forest has been around for ages.
Oh, that field looks like it's seen a year or two, and
Right? So just imagine what Moncton Paintball will be like in 10 years.
You know what?
Besides us walking around with literally walkers to
Well,
get
that's
around
just
on the
because
field.
I'm banged up. That's all. But I came out of I came out fairly good state after that day. We also were liberal with our breaks and drank lots of water. That'll be my thing.
True.
Aside
Absolutely.
from laughing at everybody and just tormenting any human being and getting away with it, I'm going to be hanging out with hydro homies and telling everybody make sure that you stay hydrated this year because it is hot.
Drink, and the next time I will remember
sunscreen. Drink lots of water and have a couple Gatorade with you guys. Don't just drink like 3 liters of water because then you deplete the salt in you, and that's bad too. So you keep those electrolytes up. Again, I'm a fat man telling you to drink water. Take that for what it is, and just stay hydrated, everybody. We don't want.
And a word, something I learned once from a buddy of mine who was huge into hiking. He was just like, if you feel thirsty, it's too late.
Like,
that was his mentality. Because, like, he offered me a bottle of water one time, and I was like, nah, man, I'm good. He goes, no, you're not. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you're not thirsty now. He says, but by the time you're thirsty, it's too late. He says, drink water now. Whether you need it or not, drink it. I was like, oh, it kind of makes sense. All right, cool. So Sunday was amazing. We got sunburnt. We drank a bunch of water. We played a bunch of paintball, and we forgot to take pictures and video because we were having too much fucking fun.
This is great shame.
It was the first day back. I couldn't be bothered. I just couldn't be arsed.
You made me laugh. You went and fired the mini. It's like, son of a bitch. Bang, mini on the table.
Yeah.
Tick, 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 got everything banged out, and that thing was firing ropes. You were slinging paint at those boys.
It was funny because I took it apart and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this thing? And I checked the air lines because it didn't matter how I turned it up. The ball basically just rolled out the barrel. Just like, floop. And I was like, what the fuck? Took the air system, took it apart, checked the valves, checked the solenoid, and I was like, there's nothing wrong. Because I'm thinking maybe the solenoid's not opening. Nope. Take it apart again. Nope. And then I was like, wait. So I took the bolt out, and I'm looking at the bolt. And then the poppet inside the bolt was jammed forward. I don't know how it happened. I must have done it. But it was jammed so hard forward that I had to put like serious strength into popping it back out. And once I did that sucker just shot ropes. And then I put I was test firing a freak kit on it.
Did you try the
It was shooting lasers. I didn't try the boomstick.
I think you're going to be pretty happy with the nightstick. Because I did not need to size down with that thing, and that's what I was using at street ball.
I'll probably take. I've still got the paint in the truck in the van or in the trunk of the car. Mind you, it's been sitting there at plus 30
Brad,
degrees for 2 days.
You fool! I should have brought it home.
Terrible.
I have a nice, cool basement.
I know. To be fair, though, most of that paint was already open and exposed to the heat in the air. So.
All right. Well, then that's just we can see what we can do.
Because we shot most of the paint.
Yeah, we shot about half that box. Yeah, at least half that box.
Yeah, because most of the paint was snuffed in. I had it in pods. Anyways, whatever's left, if it'll shoot, it'll shoot. What I'm thinking is I might actually take it to the field tomorrow morning, and I might try out that nightstick because I took the nightstick.
Because I can fit it on my axe, but there's just no need for me. There's no need for it.
No, but I just want to see how it shoots. I just want to see how the mini shoots with it.
I think you're gonna be impressed. I found it shot fucking ropes. Like, I liked my mini, I really did. But like I said before, this is great, but I like this.
Yeah, exactly. And that brings us actually almost. Now, what are we at?
Yeah.
We're at halfway through the show. Let's talk about your idea.
Which one?
I want to see what the cool and uncool or the broke or bounced.
Bouncer break. I think bouncer break is just going to be funny if. I
like bouncer break. I really do.
And just we want to take anybody's marker. Anybody's that is listening to this show that's local, send us the pics of your gear. No, I'm not going to do the lone wolf thing where we rate your shit. I'm not going to put a number on it, and it is only going to be purely subjective. Is it cool? or is it uncool? That's it. It's not.
Is it
a break or is it a bounce?
Or is it a bounce?
Is it something that's what I want, because I love to see people's gear. I love seeing MagFed markers. I think there is nothing cooler when you were a rookie, or even like Christ, I saw a SAR 12 for the first time. Like in person, saw one for the first time.
A couple of people.
And that thing was beautiful. Beautiful. It looked like it was an ordeal to put it together.
The SAR 12 is a very specialized paintball marker that has one job and one job only, and that job is to put first strikes on target consistently.
Okay. So
if you shoot round ball out of it, it will shoot round ball.
Nope.
It won't like it.
That was the feeling I got from Buddy.
And then and realistically, it's bolt action. And if you're running a bolt action marker and you're running round ball, I don't care if it's a SAR. I don't care if it's my mini. I don't care if it's somebody's Lux. I don't care. Like, shooting round ball, as long as the paint is bored to the barrel and the marker is half decent, we're all going to shoot the same, and we're all going to basically shoot the same accuracy. Right? That SAR 12 only becomes super accurate when you put a first strike into it. Because everything is literally engineered around the first strike. The whole thing is engineered around a first strike. So, because I've seen some dudes do some damage. Like, the SAR 12, I seen a guy, it was in North Carolina. We played a MagFed game called
North Carolina.
Snake Eater.
Ooh.
There was 60 players on 60 acres of land. That's a lot of land for only... Yes, and what that did was we all had our objectives, right? And the organizer was smart. He made sure that every objective my team had a counter objective given to the other team. So, but it was kind of up to the team captains to decide which objectives to go for. So you would go for a flag or for a base, and maybe you send 2 or 3 squads and they only sent 1 squad. Or maybe you go and you've only got a small team of 2 or 3 guys and they've already got 10 or 12 guys there.
Okay.
Right? You don't really know. And you got to move from point A to point B is quite a bit of distance. So if you are thinking a little more strategically, you think, okay, well, they're probably going to come from here, so maybe I'll set up an ambush. Because there's cut trails, but you can hide in the woods.
That sounds so sleazy.
And there's lots of hills. So there was one time, during one of it, we were literally hiking to our objective because we were like, okay, we're probably not going to engage with a target until we get close. So we're just kind of like hiking along. And we kind of lost situational awareness, not going to lie. It's like 35 degrees out. It's humid.
Yeah,
we're in North Carolina.
It's hot.
We're tired.
It's a wonderful place,
right?
But it's hotter than the fires of my arse, so I get you.
And we didn't even hear the shot. One of the dudes in the back of the pack was like, I'm out, I'm hit. And he walks off. We all panic because we're like, what the fuck just happened? And we all dive into the bush, right? And then boom, another dude stands up. I'm out, walks off. And then another dude, I'm out, walks off. Picked us all off one by one. There was a dude that I had met him at the beginning of the game too, right before the game started. He literally had his SAR 12 set up. He was sighting it in, and I was just chatting with him. And I was like, "What are you doing? Like, is everything like? Are you just tweaking it? Are you sighting it in the scope? What are you doing?" And his response was, "The humidity's different here, so I'm redoing the air pressure." That's how much he tweaked his SAR 12.
Fucking terrifying is what that is.
Right? So he's like, yeah, the air pressure's different here. He's like, I'm from northern United States. He's like, so being here, he's like, it's different humidity, different weather, so I'm resighting and retweaking everything. And then he wandered into the woods and came back with a ghillie that was perfectly matched to the environment.
He went out and he picked it, and he went and...
He picked it. It all. And that is the dude that took us out. He was no more than maybe 15 feet, 20 feet from us. We didn't see him. That dude had balls of steel.
That is something I always respect, is somebody who's got trigger discipline, because I tend to lack trigger discipline because I just...
Same.
Just sling the paint. I laughed at one point during the game last week because you have unlimited respawns and our team's not pushing. I'm just like, fuck this. And I just walked out in the middle of the field and you just started sending her at me. And I'm just like, okay, there's Brad. I can see his head. All right, good. We trot around and, you push in. But, oh, God, you were just sending her. And then that bus at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Hiding in a bus like a shit. That poor little kid screaming. He's in the bus, and no one's listening to him.
Nope. Yeah, we didn't hear him.
It wasn't that you guys didn't hear him. Is that he was like a 10-year-old screaming. And you guys are just like, shut the fuck up. And then eventually he gets your attention because he hollers at you. And you're just like, oh, that's Tom. He's in the bus. We'll go get him. It took you guys 5 minutes to get me out of that bus, and we still won the game because they just wanted to get the assholes singing New York, New York as loud as possible. It's a little off-key that day. I was a little ashamed. I got to come up.
Yeah, it was great.
Man, I kept that going. I know the whole song, so I could have kept going.
Well, I mean, we did that in the bus when you and I played on the same team, and we were just the entire time we were more worried about the bumblebee. That wouldn't go away.
It's because I'd run out into fire, then get stung by a bee. So, I am. It was funny. Terrified of bumblebee. I'm terrified of hornets and wasps. I don't mind bumblebees because it's a live and let live policy with them. Hornets are just dickheads.
Yes, they're very. They just sort of bump into things. They literally bumble around,
and they're fine. I like bumblebees. Bumblebees are friendly and nice, and they make delicious honey. Hornets are just made of hate, and they can fuck off.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, exactly.
Pardon my language, but hornets and wasps can just fuck right off.
Right? So
there's my rant. There's my tangent for the day. Wasps can fuck off.
That's your tangent, bumblebees.
Yeah, bumblebees and wasps can piss right off. I think that's a reasonable statement.
Yeah. And so...
What's next?
The main topic that we actually started last week, that I kind of wanted to continue this week to see how it goes, was the concept of the adult-only game. So in a game where it's... I think we settled on 19 and up.
For that type of game, yes. It would definitely have to be 19 and up.
Yeah. And just the idea, and just trying to hammer, obviously I'm not an event organizer, and I would absolutely need a professional event organizer or event manager to handle this. Because when it comes to this thing, it's I have a great idea. I have no idea how to execute it. But I think it would just be really cool to have a game where it's sorry, little Timmy, you can't come because
Daddy's going to get shithoused.
This is not, this is not for you. You know what I mean? And I'll give you the reason why, where this idea originally came from. It was years ago. The Living Legends events had so Living Legends is a game that happens every year down in the States. And the idea behind it was that they would actually bring in all the big names, the Living Legends, right? And it's a big game, 12, 13, 1,400 players, almost 2,000 players. It's just a big game. It's an absolute shit show. Apparently, I've heard that the actual game itself is nothing to really get excited about because there's so many people that it just turns into a firefight at the 50.
Yeah, I could see that.
And it's just more of a spectacle than anything. It's sort of like going to a concert and getting swept up in the mosh pit. Yeah, you missed the band, but you had a good time.
I can agree with this. I love mosh pits.
Right. Yeah. I got to take part in a Wall of Death with Slayer.
Oh, that
cool. Was amazing.
That's cool.
I
watched it happen, and I looked at Mrs. B, and I told Mrs. B, I'm not going down there. And she's like, no.
Wait, did you go to the Slayer event?
No, I went to see Slayer in Montebello in Montreal, in just basically the same distance from from Ottawa. It's 12 hours from here, and we saw them the same night we saw System of a Down, and we watched. They didn't do a Wall of Death, but we watched them like start opening up the pit, and they're going in circles. And my wife's like, "Are you going down into that?" And I just kind of looked at it and I went, "No, I don't think I will. I think I'm gonna stay back here where it's safe." And my best friend Princess comes up after, and he's soaked to the bone. And we look at him, and we're like, "Dude, are you okay?" And he goes, "Yes." And I'm like, "You are really, really sweaty." And he's shivering at this point, going, "It's not my sweat." So by the time we got to Montreal, he was very sick. he was sopping in other people's juices, and it was it was not great. It was very gross. I won.
So my story about Slayer.
No.
So, okay, this is a tangent, but I'm very proud of this. I went and got to see Slayer, Megadeth, and Testament play in Moncton.
Good concert.
Glorious. We went, and Slayer, so Megadeth plays, or Testament opens, then it's Megadeth, then it's Slayer. Testament, fantastic. Megadeth, kind of lackluster, but I mean, he's old as shit now. Like, Dave Mustaine is old.
And I saw him
trying.
like 5 or 6 years later, and he's a bitch. So, no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, he's an absolute bitch. Slayer, fantastic. Just so good. I felt bad because Kerry King literally cannot headbang anymore. Like, his doctor is like, if you headbang again, you'll die.
No, he can't, unfortunately.
So you could see it in his eyes, though. He wanted to. Like, you could see it. Like, he's playing, and he's, like, fighting the urge. Like, his head's shaking because he's fighting the urge to headbang. But we get there, and we're at the event, and it was amazing. We're on the floor, and we're watching this, and like, this is fucking amazing. And then halfway through the set, it goes dark, and then you just hear the rain, and you're like, oh, everybody knows what that sound is. And then the crowd parted, and like we all just naturally knew. We just parted, and you just hear that like do 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 do, and it's just like and it's just like the crowd parts, and then as soon as it starts, as soon as it's just like we just crashed into each other, and it was fucking glorious. I got punched in the jaw, like it was brutal, but it was amazing. It was so good. I do not remember the end of the show.
You wouldn't.
And I was not drinking. I was probably stoned out of my skull just from being there. But, like, I do not remember the show.
When we went and saw them, my wife, Mrs. B, had never seen Slayer. So they come out on stage on time. And it's just like, you could have counted them down to the second. The set starts, and she's just like,
professionals.
These guys are really good. I'm like, yes, sweetheart, it's Slayer. Like, that's what they do.
They're one of the four.
I've seen 3 of the 4.
They are one of the top. They are the original 4 thrash bands.
I have not seen Anthrax. That is the only one I haven't seen. Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, seen them. They are fucking excellent. Of the 3, I would never see Megadeth again if I had the choice.
Yep, same. I saw them.
It was like we walked past Cannibal Corpse, and we're like, hey, kids, look, it's Cannibal Corpse. And we kept on going because we didn't care. So, back to what we were talking about having an adults-only game. I think it's feasible. Yeah. We would need a good event organizer, and I've got an idea of a good venue. We know DJs. It could be done, and I would just make sure that every motherfucker that walks in signs a liability form.
Oh, 100%. And like you'd need an insurance company on board, but that's where the event organizer comes in, right? They know all this shit. They know all the ins and outs for this kind of event. Because I'm thinking like you would basically need the same paperwork as a wet-dry metal show. Because you could do separate. You could do wet-dry zones, right? You could do this is where alcohol is consumed. And then this is where like alcohol is not allowed to be consumed. Have security on site to know that, like, to keep an eye out for paintball stuff and be like, if they're playing paintball or if they've got paintball gear on them, they cannot have a drink. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And I mean, yes, obviously if you do a big enough event, you're going to have shitheads, but that's where you hire professional security. And I'm not talking about like your stereotypical security, mall cop. You bring in professional event security teams where these guys and girls are used to grabbing somebody by the face and dragging them out.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? These are the people that you see like literally at metal shows where they're in front of the stage and they will pick your ass up and throw you back into the crowd because you got too close to the stage. That is the kind of security you need.
Yeah, I love those guys. Those guys and those men and women are the women who do it are just jacked, and you don't just
no right. You don't fuck with them. But and the best part is like they take their job very seriously, and I can just like imagine somebody stepping out of line, and the event organizer just walks up to one of security and just points at somebody and goes, "That one," and then that dude's out. Done. You're done. Get out. And so yeah, you do that. Oh, sorry, the whole Living Legends thing. Sorry, I totally got sidetracked. Living Legends had a massive number of people. I don't even know how I came off that tangent. And a video came. So okay, Living Legends, they play the game. They have a big game. It's like a 2-day event. So you have the big game, and then you have a night party, and then you have another game, and then you go home. Well, the night party, they build a big stage. It's one of those like it's on a trailer. You know when they bring in like the trailer stages, where they can drop the trailer and it like unfolds and it's a full size stage. They have like a rock band, they have a punk band, they have a couple of hip hop guys, that kind of thing. It's pretty good. They also hosted a wet T-shirt contest.
I don't think we're getting away with that one in 2022, buddy. Don't think that one's gonna fly. And
one of the videos promoting Living Legends was like the camera guy is on stage, right? So he's on stage and you see the rappers and they're doing their thing, and he's just like he's got the camera on them, and then he turns the camera and you see the girls, obviously paid models, because they were insanely confident in those heels and on stage, and it just seemed a little too professional to be like somebody from the field. If it was props. But I felt like it was a professional models. And then the camera turns and there's like a 10-year-old front and center just being like it's just like he that kid is learning things. And who I can only assume is his father is with them. Same look on his face. You know what I mean?
I love it.
And they got so much shit for that. Mostly because there was a kid there. Not so much because of the wet T-shirt. I mean, a lot of people were like, oh, down, how dare they do wet T-shirt, yada, yada, yada. To be fair, if the women are okay with it and they agree to it, then who's to say no?
I stand by that if we're going to have wet T-shirts for women, there are wet T-shirts for men, damn it. I am down with that. Now,
I'll enter into that contest. I'll lose miserably, but I will enter into that contest.
It'd be funny as hell.
Right? Exactly. So, and that's what I'm saying. Like, we do 50-50, right? Everybody.
If it's not, it's either all funny or none of it's funny.
And that was one thing we were talking about was like, years ago, I was talking about like the event and the concept of booth babes. Because at one of the events at Paintball Extravaganza, and at Living Legends, I think, some of the vendors had brought in professional booth babes or like professional models. So you had these girls wearing paintball gear or holding the marker. And there was somebody from the company talking about it. So the girl's just modeling.
That's fine.
Just fine. Professional model is a job.
I see no issue with that.
Well, what people had issues with was the concept of the booth babe, and why was it all women? And I thought, why isn't there any men? Because like you've got stuff like Carbon. Carbon produces only men's clothing that I'm aware of. Maybe they have some casual
They do say one size fits most, and they have small gloves, so you can assume that the one size fits all category falls into women as well. But I'm devil's advocate. So, I see your point.
But what I'm saying is, like, if you're going to have booth babes or professional female booth models, why not bring in booth dudes?
Hey, man. Booth
bros. Booth bros.
Peasy,
That's what we're going to call them, booth bros.
Yeah.
No, and then everybody's happy. You know, like, that's kind of my thought. It's just like, why not just, like...
Equal opportunity exploitation.
Like...
And it's not exploitation if everybody agrees with it. If everyone's down and everyone...
If they sign up for it, to be paid to stand around and look good because they have a classically attractive physique, then is it exploitation, or is it's opportunistic on their part of taking advantage of their attributes, which go nuts.
I do not disagree with this statement in the slightest. I noticed that Ryan Bell is good with the idea of booth bros. I'm quite pleased by that.
Right?
Again, I don't see why it can't be done. It's just that we're in New Brunswick and the amount of promotion that's going to be required. Money, that's always a problem. Time can solve that problem. It's legitimately getting people out to the venue, getting people out there.
And that's the other thing is like, and I hate to say this, but at the same time I don't. But leading off of you saying, like you said, we're in New Brunswick, we're in the Maritimes. I would love to host an event like that. But I also know the kind of people that are in this area, and I mean that in a large geographical area, like New Brunswick, Nova Scotia.
We just don't have the people. We don't have the numbers.
We don't have enough people, and the people that would go, I wouldn't trust there. There's a lot of people that I would, and there's a handful where I would just be like, I don't want you here.
We're going to have a problem. Yeah, there's definitely going to be some of that.
Right?
Fuck,
so
and there's nothing you can do about that.
But I mean, everywhere has that, I guess. Ontario would have that. Quebec would have that. But it would be amazing. I'm just thinking, like, it'd be so good to have an event where it's like, I'm going to go away, and I don't have to be careful of what I say. I don't have to be a good role model. I don't have to think about what I'm doing and who's around me. I can just relax, let my gut out, and just...
Yeah. I see what you mean, because I am definitely guilty of being uncensored with the things I say, and I sometimes catch myself and I'm like, oh, shit, there's a kid right there. That little kid who came out of the bus cursing and swearing after I clapped him in the side of the head, I'm just like... Oh,
right, and that's
God,
the thing.
That was
like,
so funny, and at the same time, I'm glad your mom didn't hear it.
Yeah, right, exactly. So it would be nice to go to a big... Now, typically when you go to a big game, that stuff doesn't really happen. You don't see a lot of kids that are, like, new or inexperienced. Usually it's a kid that's been playing for a little while that their parents are, like,
their dad,
also players.
their mom's also.
And they
okay,
come to the field.
I had thought about that.
But like I said, I've been to these big events where there's 1,000 players, and I'm told, make sure you take it easy out there, folks. There's kids on the field. No. If there's a kid on the field, that kid is on the field.
If you're big enough to point a gun at me, you're big enough to get shot by it. Sorry.
Right? My marker is shooting at the regulation speed and the regulation balls per second. I'm following all the rules. I am using field paint. I am assuming that the field is keeping tabs of what people are wearing, so they must be wearing a proper paintball mask, and if they're there, they're getting ripped apart. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to turn it on and off depending on who I'm up against at a big event. At a walk-on, absolutely.
Yeah, like absolutely. I'm not going to light a little kid up on like a walk-on Sunday, but if we're playing street ball, actually it was the vascular daddy of paintball. I lit his fucking kids right up, and I felt terrible about it after. And he just laughed. He's like, "Well, they can walk out there and they can point it at you. They can take it." So it's like, I shoot child now.
Right? Yeah. Right. Basically, and I mean, like I said, I've gone into walk-ons where against somebody, and you can tell when they're a brand new player because they got a rental mask and a rental gun, and they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to hold it properly. And yes, I have toyed with them a little bit. I have snapped the bunker directly to the left of them on purpose. Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm taking it easy on them.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking like an adult only game, and then you could also bring in you bring in the music, you bring in the DJs, you bring in the models, you bring in the sponsors. Think of the sponsors. Like, I'm just not even thinking. I'm just thinking like all sorts of weird and wonderful shit could be brought in.
Beer sponsors.
Hard spirits sponsors. Smirnoff would get in on that in a heartbeat.
I would think so.
Or you know who would? You know who would fit the vibe? At least what I believe to be the vibe and what should be the vibe. And I'm saying everybody agrees with me, but my vibe, Jaeger.
Yeah, I can see that degenerating into a shit show so
absolutely.
quickly.
But I'm saying is that Jägermeister makes sense.
Oh,
though.
yeah,
Like, you know
in
what I mean?
terms
Like
of-
the whole like Montal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I can see that. But I can also see somebody getting a fifth of Jaeger in them and that shit going sideways uber quick.
Yeah, and I mean there must be a way to control that. Like I was kind of thinking about it the other day while driving, and I was like, okay, what if you put wristbands on everybody, right? So you come in, you sign up, you sign the registration, you sign the insurance waiver form that we are no longer liable for anything that happens to you. Thanks.
That's a big one for me.
And you get a wristband, right? So you get a bright yellow wristband or a bright red or orange wristband, and you're not allowed anywhere without that wristband.
You've seen with
right?
it off, you're out kind of thing, I guess. But again, your problem isn't
Right,
the people
but-
coming in. It's the ones that are going to overindulge. And
No, that's what I'm wondering is instead of doing beer tickets or drink tickets, because I've been to events where they're like, you got 2 drink tickets. I'm like, great. And then I turn to my buddy and go, you drinking? No? Great. Give me your
Yeah.
tickets. Like, you know what I mean? But what if you instead, you get custom printed bands, because I can do this, and you hole punch the band.
actually, now that you made me think of it, Festival d'été in Montreal, they have wristbands that have got a beep beep and they scan. Again, money, but
That could be but that could be done with an app.
yeah,
that could be done
that
with
was
a phone.
long time ago that we went, so
Right?
it could be done properly. But I would go with that. What?
Right? You can scan the barcode and be like, the bar. You go up to the bar and they go boop and they go, mm-mm. You've been here twice.
You're done,
You're
bud.
on.
You're done, mate.
You're cut off.
Sorry, nothing personal, but
Right?
again, I don't see why not. But I think it's
I mean, there's ways around it. Whereas you can like boop, scan the barcode, and then you give your drink to your buddy.
at that
But
point you're going through that much effort.
The people that are going to do that, they're going to
They're
find
going to
a
do
way
it anyways.
around
They're the
it.
ones
You
that
know
are
what I
going to
mean? Like,
sneak
it doesn't
booze into
matter.
the venue. Yada 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 yada.
Exactly, and that's why you have the buff security guards who yeet them out
I
when
do
necessary.
like people being yeeted or yoinked, depending on that time
Right.
of day.
So-
we're going to revisit this because I'm getting more and more inclined. I'm getting my attention, but we'll revisit that one on a future date for sure. Because now,
And we should we'll actually dedicate like a proper half a show to it.
once
or
we have a
45
few more
minutes to the
ideas
show.
collected, because now
'Cause-
we're spitballing and we're rolling ideas around, and it's an idea that's forming. Only if you're going to hold my marker, baby. Brian, I will see you very soon, I hope, and I will hold one of your markers because I've seen the pictures. They are pretty. So I will hold one of Ryan Bell's marker. Not his meat marker, but just a marker. And on that disturbing bombshell, I dare say that is it. That is our time tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank all those sexy sponsors and all the sexy people that are out there listening to me. Take a look in the header. Do me a solid. Donate some money to the Friends of the Moncton Hospital because I would appreciate it personally. Just near and dear to my heart. That's why we're doing Paintball for Kids. That's it. That's all. You want anything? You got anything you want to plug tonight, sweetheart?
Nope, I'm good.
Well, then that is
I'm
just
all good.
sensational.
So that's it, folks. We are out of here. It's been a blast. Thank you so much. And like Tom said, thank you to the sponsors. Thank you to everybody who's watching in the comments.
We do
We see
love
you
you.
out there. Anyone who liked and share, we love you.
David Gamby.
we'll
we
be back
thank
next
you,
week.
buddy. My fellow metalhead. I love it. Neb, I am still jealous of you. Eli, you are dead sexy. And Melanie, we love you, dear. We're going to be up there as soon as we can to give the royal blessing on a new field in the Maritimes.
Yes, and we'll be back next week. I might see if I can get the organizers of Paintball for Kids on the show next week. I think that'd be fun to talk about because the event is up in 2 Sundays.
Yeah, I'm just thinking could be interesting. Actually, next week would be good because that is Mrs. B's birthday and I might not be here. So be a good night for an interview.
Ooh.
We're
There
going
we
to
go.
try and set that up.
So that's it, folks. Yes, we'll try to set up. But for now, we're out of here. Thank you so much.
Rock out.
Until
Just
next
rock
week.
out.
Cheers.